everyone, welcome to See Self Awake. This is your host, Mandy. I want to start today's episode with a question. When you feel frustrated, when something makes you feel round or anxious, what's your first instinct? Do you reach for your phone? Do you call a friend, vent, pour it all out? And I'm sure that feels really good because that's what I did too, is tell the story to one friend, get relief, then either I see another friend or somebody ask, I tell them the same story again, and I get that hit of relief again and again with another person. And it feels good in that moment, I'm sure, but you've unburdened yourself. But here's what I want to explore with you today is what if that relief is actually making things worse? Think about it. What if complaining, this thing we think as of really healthy emotional release, is actually a form of self-harm? I'm not coming to you as some authority who's got it all figured out. I'm coming to you as someone who's in the same boat, still changing, still learning, but also watching what's happening to all of us. I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to look at this with you. So here's what I want to explore is what really happens when we complain. What are we actually expecting from people? How deeply have we misunderstood what complaining can give us? And what are the deepest truths about suffering hiding underneath all of this? Have you ever looked closely at nature or pay attention to how complex system works? If you look closely, you will find a core principle, which is no system can achieve lasting balance by simply dumping waste outwards. It has to be able to digest it from within. I know. For first, it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's really not. It's actually incredibly simple. When we first hear about this, most of us would think, oh, it's just a corporate speak, like being independent, work harder. You know what I mean? But it's actually not that. Look, it's pointing to something much deeper. It's one of the most basic truths about how life actually works. Your suffering, only you can feel it. Your joy, only you can feel it. People can sympathize, they can try, but here's the thing is they can never actually feel what you feel. They can't really take it from you even if they want to. Your pain stays with you because it's yours. And here's what's even more important is your suffering, it comes from you, your own thinking, your choices, what you're holding on to. Same as your joy that comes from inside of you too. So nobody else determines how you feel. Not one person, not one situation. That power, it belongs to you and only you. We were programmed the opposite way from the day we were born. From school to work, society teaches us one thing is when we feel hurt, we reach out, tell a friend, to a family, find anyone who will listen and talk it out loud. Don't carry it all alone. Maybe they use all different kinds of words. Maybe it's vent, share, discuss, or something else, but it's all emotional dumping. We're like a piece of white paper. Everything sounds right. Everything sounds, just makes sense to us. But here's the problem is it's hiding a massive trap. And before I just tell you what the trap is, let me share with you an example first. Example, you're running a business. It's losing money, you feel anxious. What do you do? What can you do? Do you actually stay calm and think about what's wrong with the business and the business model and find out the reason why it's not making money? No, majority of people would actually choose to go cry to friends, family instead, or first. Blame the market, blame bad luck, blame any external reasons. And by crying and complaining to others, yeah, you might get some sympathy, maybe even a bailout check, from anybody. But does that change the fact that your business is broken? No, it doesn't fix anything by simply complaining. So the trap is it makes you believe that emotional relief equals solving the problem. Now you know what the trap is. I want to give you a couple more just daily life that might happen. The examples. So, for example, when you have a bad day, your boss criticizes you, someone disappoints you, things just don't go as planned. It happens all the time. Your chest tightens, that familiar discomfort, maybe frustration, maybe shame, maybe anger. What's your usual move during or after work? Or when that happens, you would reach out for your phone, text a friend, call someone, open your mouth, and just start venting. And here is the critical moment is the instant you start speaking, you feel relief. Like a valve opens, pressure release, you feel lighter and it becomes a habit. Your friends will listen. Maybe they validate you, say, yeah, that's really unfair. They should have, not have treat you like that, or you deserve better. In that moment of being heard, you feel even more relief, warmth, connections, like someone finally gets it. But here's the thing is you start to enjoy it. You enjoy your friends agreeing with you, being on your side. You get to play the victim role so well. You don't have to be responsible for anything. You can be excused. You can be forgiven for the consequences. It feels good to be absolved. And when I say about you, I'm actually talking about me as well. That's something I'm going through. And you know what? The next day, when we all wake up, the thing that happened, it's still there. Nothing changed. The boss, like words didn't disappear. That person didn't just suddenly apologize or the bad taste in your mouth about that thing or that person. The bad feelings you have when you think about, everything, they're all still there. Nothing actually got fixed, but the feeling somehow is worse now. You might wonder why. Because when we tell our stories, we don't just remember the pain. We're reinforcing it because we lit up those suffering pathways again. Every time we tell the story, we're carving it deeper into our brain. Think about this is you walk on the grass once, barely leave a mark, right? Walk it 10 times. Try that. Now there is a clear path. And that's what actually doing to your brain is it's becoming the known path, the comfortable habit that your brain relies on and it gets trained. So here is what actually happens over time is each time you vent, you get temporary relief, but what you've actually really done is deepen that pathway and your brain is now wired to go there faster, deeper, happier. You become more dependent on that relief, more desperate. You need that nest vent and the nest because without it, you feel even more alone. And that is the cycle is the relief through complaint goes to deeper the pathway to more dependent and more desperate for the nest vent. And by following that cycle, you're not releasing the pressure, you're actually building the habit of suffering. I'm speaking from my true experience, and I really want to share this with you. The reason why I want to do this episode of the podcast because here's what's truly dangerous by following the cycle that I just mentioned is when you've formed this habit because I did, I start to believe that I can't really handle the situations or the feelings without venting or by getting advice from other people because my brain hasn't been trained to self-dissolve the pain or the problems. It hasn't learned to process independently, so I don't know what decisions to make unless I talk to someone first. And I will and I did feel trapped, not just by the habit, but by the belief that I need external validations to survive. And that's what I actually think is dangerous. So all the stuff that I said before is how I found out how it works in my brain. And I do want to share one more thing is the invisible cost, the hidden cost that affects not just you, but everyone around you. Because when you keep dumping your pain to, your friends and your families or people that you trust, anybody, at first that they listen because they care, they want to help. But over time, something shifts. Watch what happens, over the days, the weeks, months. Sometimes you wonder, like their eyes start to glaze, they're checking their phones more, their responses get shorter. Eventually, they just avoid you. And a lot of times people think why friends just um, go separate ways. And that's one of the reasons I'm not saying like all people are like this. And I'm not saying this could be the only reason, but this is something that I noticed that has happened before to either myself, or I noticed the patterns to other people. And by, listening to their stories, connecting to this thing that I see, the pattern I see. And that this is what I think is when you, or when everybody extract your pain and hand it to other people, that there's a weight to everything that you vent out. That weight actually sticks with them. If that person carries it or takes it over, it gets heavy. What if they have to carry it over and over? Eventually, they burn out. They get emotionally tired. So they protect themselves by staying away. It's not mean. It's not like they don't want to be good friends. It's survival instinct. Sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. So you think you're sharing the burden, but you're actually dumping it, polluting the emotional space around both of you. So you are caught in a loop that feels like healing, but is actually self harm. Now you might be thinking, okay, what if we don't vent, we don't tell other people? Can we just never do it? That's not really what I want to share the opinions about, and it's more about the purpose of you doing it. The emotional venting and how the other person is carrying it. And you might think now that, okay, so now what do we do? What can we do? So this is a couple of things that I want to share. 3 steps that I've tested on myself, and would that work for you too? To be honest, maybe everyone's different. You've got to try it and see what works. But at least I can give you something to explore, and that's something actually worked on me. So that's the reason why I want to share it. So let's do it together. Or you find a situation later on to try it. So here's 3 steps. Simple. You can start today. Okay, step 1 is locate it. So, what that means is this is the first step. The moment you feel the surge, that instinct to vent, pause. Just pause. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, where are you feeling this exactly? I want you to be really feeling it and be literal. So, for example, is it in your chest, your stomach? Is your throat? What shape does it have? Or does it even have a shape? Is it heavy? Can you imagine a color for it? Because here's what happens is this is kind of like magic. Is the moment you shift from story, quote unquote, that person around me, I am a victim, to physical sensation, quote, like my chest is tight right now. So something changes in your brain is your logical mind wakes up, your panic dial turns down, and then the story lose its grip. So what you're left with is just the raw physical feeling, no drama, no sensation. And here is what's wild is the moment you stop telling the drama story in your head and just observe the feeling, it becomes less overwhelming, less solid, less like this is who I am. Step number 2 is spirit. So now this is where it gets hard, like really hard. This is where most people stop, because what you don't do is don't push it away. Don't try to, oh, let's be positive and ignore it. Don't shrink it or minimize it. Instead, just be with it. Like that's it. Just to be there with that feeling. Imagine you're holding an ice. It's cold. It burns a little, but you're not fighting it. You're not running away from it. You're just holding it, feeling that cold. Now bring your focus to your body. If your chest is tight, don't think about it why. Just breathe into that tightness. Don't create a story, just notice, oh, my chest is tight. That's what I'm feeling right now. The second, your mind tells a story. Oh, I'm so sad because, this person said this to me. This person did this to me. This is the reason why. Oh, I don't deserve this. Should it be this or could it be that? Gently pull it back to the sensation. And here's why this matters. Is your body is always in that now. But stories, they live in the past or the future. They're never here. They're all in your mind. Step 3, it dissolves. it's coming to the most amazing part. Is this part, this step, you don't actually do it. It just happens naturally. If you've done the first two right, when you stop feeding the story, when you stop sending it the energy of I'm the victim, I'm broken, this is unfair, something shifts. That hard shell, it starts to soften. It might turn into quiet sadness. It might become acceptance. It might just lighten. And if you don't fight it, if you don't clench around it, it flows through and then it leaves. That's difference is this isn't suppression. It's not you being a stone, it's digestion. It's your system actually processing the pain instead of recycling it. And let me guess, after you hearing all this stuff, your brain is probably already raising some objections or questions. Let me just address the few main ones because this is something that I had before too. Is number one, won't I lose my friends if I stop complaining? So here is what I think is no, you're actually upgrade your friendships. Real friendship isn't two broken people dumping their trash on each other, is to hold people who actually know how to show up for each other. You can still share, you can still ask for advice, you can talk through problems, but as something to solve together, not as proof that you're a victim and need rescue. And here's the huge difference is number one is, oh, I run into a tough situation. What do you think? It's a dialogue. And number two is, I'm in pain. Please take my pain away from me. That's number two, extraction. And the thing is, when you stop using friends as emotional dumpsters, the real one stays. The ones who would only, you know, be there for the drama and they would leave. And honestly, good because they were never yours anyway. And number two is, isn't venting like therapy or don't, therapists to say to talk about the feelings? So what I actually think is I totally understand why it seems like therapy is just venting, right? And here's the huge difference because I thought about therapist as someone I just vent and then they won't share with anybody. It's someone that I don't know and don't know my friends and family, and they actually can't tell anybody else what I said. It's like all the embarrassing stuff or thoughts I can say it to somebody who actually has a professional background. But actually, I think the biggest difference, which I understand now, is in therapy, a trained therapist, just like I mentioned, they have professional background, isn't just there listening to your sufferings. They're actively helping you move past it. They're pointing out patterns you can't see. They're actually helping you think differently about, okay, what happened? This happened. And they're pulling you away from the victim story, not deeper into it. So when you complain to a friend instead of sitting with the feeling, you're repeating the suffering pathway over and over. And here's the thing is the goal of therapy is to teach you how to self-regulate, to heal yourself, not to make you dependent on someone listening to your pain forever. And question number three is, okay, I understand it all, but I just can't do it. I know, I get this a lot. I also, at the first, when practicing all this, I also tell myself this. And this is what I want to tell you um, is you are just not ready yet, but that's okay. And here's the thing is understanding something and actually living it, there's a massive gap between those two. And only pain itself can bridge that gap. So right now, complaining still feels good in the moment your brain gets it, the hit of relief that I can, like I mentioned about, and then the validation, the sympathy. So of course you keep doing it. Why wouldn't you? Right. But here's what I promise is the first time you actually sit with your pain instead of running from it, the first time you don't tell the story to anybody and you realize it actually doesn't destroy you. Like it can't do anything to harm you unless you allowed it to. And that's when something shifts. That's when you take your power back, and that's the moment that everything everything changes. And number 4 is something I actually question myself before as well as all of these questions, is what if I'm not complaining because I have no one to talk to, or I feel like the topic that I have, the things I want to talk about, I just have no one to talk to. So wait a second. That's what I want to say is wait a second. That's actually a hidden form of complaining too, because that's what I realized is that we're all suffering about the fact that no one will listen to me. Right? Here's the thing is your suffering is your own, just like my suffering is mine. Doesn't mean that you have no choice but to silence. It means you're choosing to be silent because you're strong enough. There's a difference. One is passive, one is active. So here's the shift is instead of saying that, oh, no one understands me, which that feeds off the victim energy, moving to I don't need others to understand. I actually understand myself. That feeds the power energy, and that's the real strength. And after knowing all of this stuff and you actually really understand it and you actually practice, it actually worked for you. I just want to tell you one more thing is don't let this go into your head. Don't start judging people who are still complaining. Don't think you're better than them. That feeling of, you're above everybody, that's just ego. And the ego is suffering too. The real ones who understand, they feel the compassion for people still trapped because they remember they know what it's like. They know those people haven't found the answer yet, just like you hadn't once. I really like an old saying. It says, light your own way. It doesn't really mean that you become cold or emotionless. What it actually means is we already have the power inside of us, all of us. We are designed and built with the ability to heal others. And that suffering, it's ours. No one knows it's better than now like we do. And no one else can fix it for us. And here's what happens when we actually reclaim that power, when we stop handing it away. We stop chasing after people to understand us because we've learned to understand ourselves deeply. We stop needing validations from others because we accept all of ourselves, the broken parts, the messy parts, everything. We stop needing people to rescue us because we discover something incredible when we actually embrace the pain instead of running from it. It becomes lighter, it transforms, it turns into wisdom, and it stays with us. This isn't being cold, it's being kind to yourself and to everything. And again, don't think one small complaint doesn't matter. Every single time when you complain or when you don't, you are rewriting your brain. You're building your life and you're choosing, do you keep your power or do you hand it away? And remember, your suffering is your own. It's not comfort, it's not guilt. It's just telling you you're stronger than you believe. So, are you ready to take that key back? I'm sharing this not because I've got it all figured out. Like I said, I'm sharing it because I'm in the middle of changing. I'm experiencing it just like you. I'm watching what's possible, what has happened to myself, and maybe you're on the same road right now, so let's walk it together. If today moved you with any of the things that I said, got you thinking, tell me in the comments. But here is my small one request is don't complain in the comments. Don't retell the sad stories you carry around. Instead, pay attention. Name one emotion you're feeling right now. Really look at it. It might sound like, oh, okay, I feel stuck. It's heavy and I'm not running away from it. Or I'm scared. It's tightening my chest. I'm just going to look at it. Write it down. Use your own words. See its true shape for the first time. And here's the thing seeing clearly is already the first step of letting go. If this episode helped you, please like and subscribe. Share with anyone you think needs this key. I will see you next time. Let's keep growing together.